There's a massive shift within Manchester United's transfer strategy. We're going to talk about Carlos Beleba agreeing personal terms. This is edging closer. Is this deal possible? Is it impossible with Manchester United betting up for the negotiations with Brentford? No, with Brighton. And also Donnarumma, the goalkeeper that Manchester United are seriously going in for. Transfer shift has changed, and I'm going to talk about everything because Lemons is still there, but Donnarumma is the one for now. Guys, massive shout out for everyone that's tuning in. And also, we're going to talk about the latest regarding Jadon Sancho. There's reports coming out from Roma, Italy, that they are preferring Jadon Sancho. Guys, this is Mick Ruby, MUFC, Realist TV. Do me a massive favor. Do not forget to do what? Like it.
And Garnacho!
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Will you be in the dugout at Old Trafford on Sunday? I will be here. Definitely. I don't know.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go, people. Before I continue, I want to give a massive flowers and shout out the account called Indikaya on Twitter. There was kind of a little bit of a account deemed to be a joke account, but however, they've been spot on when it comes to Carlos Baleba. And I've been cross-checking on multiple sources, and this account came out even before Fabrizio Romano, 2 hours before even David Ornstein, and both of these beacon of transfers as kind of referenced them. So big, massive shout out for Indikaya. They've been spot on regarding Carlos Baleba. And Mick Ruby said, I could not believe it, but I've been digging around, and after my understanding to say that Carlos Baleba, it is a Manchester United fan. Carlos Baleba had a gentleman's agreement with Brighton back in January that he could leave the club. And basically, Carlos Baleba and his agent has also been agreeing personal terms with Manchester United. It's been intense negotiations and talk, and Brighton allow this to happen. Why? Because Brighton knows that they are a good feeding, selling club. And at the end of the day, Brighton do what Brighton do best. You go, son, go speak to Manchester United. We don't mind, but at the end of the day, let us know what the result is, and we will negotiate the fee. And of course, Brighton are slapping a high fee on Carlos Baleba, believing to be about 100 to 104 million British pounds, which is way too much in my opinion. But however, Manchester United, according to my sources inside, believe that they can negotiate, putting about 70 million to 80 million in total package. And I believe that this could be a very interesting thing to follow. However, if you do go look at what João Pedro went for Chelsea, they did the same thing with João Pedro. Exactly the same strategy and tactics. They demanded 90 minutes for João Pedro, and João Pedro went for 55 plus 5 in 60 million in total package. So there is a confidence within Manchester United, senior operations camp, that they could actually do the deal, and they're going all in for Beleba. There is nothing. Of course, I've been mentioning that is Plan B targets, which is Edison. Wharton is pretty much the one that has been putting out there as a fillers, as a smokescreen, as a deviation. There's no legs in Wharton's story as of yet. But you never know. If Manchester United miss out, which I doubt they will, because if you look at the transfer window so far, every single target they've gone for, Manchester United landed that player, no matter what. We look at Mbuemo. It took 6 to 7 weeks of negotiations until we actually got the player of the line. But what is the story regarding this? And what is the story, the truth behind also Donnarumma? Well, Manchester United are also going all in for Donnarumma. So let's, without any further ado, Mick Ruby here from MUFC Realist TV with all the latest Manchester United news and transfers coming direct raw from the backroom stuff of Manchester United and the agents camp as well. Well-sourced information. Well, I did a tweet yesterday, and I'm sorry if I haven't been live. I've been traveling. It's been kind of a little bit stressful. Just after speaking to sources within Manchester United football operation and cross-checking with others close to the recruitment, the club's intent this season is to clearly go to secure Champions League. Now, this is very interesting because I did follow up. Can we afford this? Well, Carlos Beleba is viewed as one of the ideal profile requested by Amorim and fully sanctioned by INEOS as part of the long-term quality build. So let me tell you this. 1 month ago, Carlos Beleba was not even on the list. 1 month ago, Donnarumma was not even on the list. And that is absolutely the truth. Now, what I followed up with the club sources behind the scenes to understand what is going on. And they basically said, well, basically back in June, we clearly saw the business that City was doing, what Liverpool was doing, what Chelsea was doing. And our project rejuvenation squad was always to get players that will be ready for winning the title in 2028. But based on what our rivals were doing, we changed our policy. So if you look back in end of last month, where Sir Jim Ratcliffe had a meeting with Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox in Reykjavik, that was the game, the opening of the preseason. Clearly, there was a strategy was mentioned to me that Manchester United are now going all in. They understood that Beleba was available. They made contact. They assigned Christopher Vivell to approach and give a call to Benjamin Sesko. They did. And Sesko is now a Manchester United player. So they set their sights on Carlos Beleba, that he is the one that Ruben Amorim wants. He is the one that will take Manchester United for the ready-made project instead of the up-and-coming project. So that is a clear shift, a paradigm shift in terms of the recruitment strategy, what they are doing. And that was given to me yesterday. So they are taking this very seriously. There is money to be made based on the Cunha deal was actually registered in the last financial year's PSR. So they technically have only spent money on Sesko and on Mbeumo, which is leading you up to 25 million this year's installments. They believe that they can strike a deal with Brentford. They have been having intense conversation with his agent. And as well, if you look at what Alex Turk was saying, there is 3 secret agents in here. There's Andrew Onana, the fellow camaraderie of Beleba as well. You have Mbeumo, 100%. There are people that have been speaking to Beleba as well. And Beleba has, he only sets his mind. He wants to join Manchester United. Personal terms, what I was given the information is not a problem. Beleba is getting 13 million. No, not 13 million. 13,000 a week. And that should not be a problem for Manchester United. They can offer him 70 million, right? 70, a maximum 100 million for this player. So this is not going to be an expensive deal to be made in terms of his agent fee as well. It's also a report saying that his agents will lower down his fee just to sort of make this deal to happen. But the stumbling block will be the overall transfer fee and negotiations with no other than Brighton. It's led to believe that this week, according to my sources, is saying that Manchester United and Brighton will sit down and talk. And this is crucial moments because you saw that Beleba was not part of the last game. He was not even part of the bench. So that gives you the indication that this deal is more advanced than you actually think it was. Another source of information also told me that Manchester United's strategy this window is pretty much to utilize media, tier 1 media, to be the mouthpieces, to be the intermediates, to leak out stories early. This has been Manchester United's strategy. We're talking about David Ornstein. We're talking about Fabrizio Romano. They are getting the information first before anyone else, and they put it out there in the media. That is a stronghold for Manchester United, utilizing this weapon as part of negotiation to let people know and to let the player know that you hand in a transfer request because Manchester United is coming for you. And all of a sudden, if you Carlos Beleba, you see these stories floating around on Twitter, on social media, on news, and you go like, oh shit, Manchester United in for me. Oh my God. Of course, that makes a difference. But we're going to talk about this one because this can drag out. It depends on how hardcore Brighton is in terms of negotiation. We know that this is an overinflated price, what they said on the Beleba. Manchester United value him about 60 million max, but are willing to pay over the odds, maximum 80 million. And I believe that is a deal to be made because at the end of the day, Brighton is a feeding club and they will always listen to sell. Take a case study with Chelsea. We mentioned how Pedro, they wanted 90 million, but he went for 60 million total package, 55 plus 5. So I certainly believe there is hope out there that, Beleba can become a Manchester United player. Another one, we're going to go into goalkeeping situation. We're going to talk about Donnarumma to Manchester United. That is 100% had legs. There's been talks regarding with Manchester United representatives. And again, these 2 deals is all in or nothing for Manchester United. What these 2 deals has in common is that they were not even mentioned in Manchester United's transfer list 1 month ago. This was an opportunity that just presented itself. And this made Manchester United to shift the paradigm shift to get them ready-made players to challenge now because they're seeing what Chelsea is doing. They're seeing what Liverpool is doing. They're seeing what City is doing. They're seeing what Arsenal is doing. So this is going to be one hell of an interesting, Premier League season because Manchester United, top is to get into top 4. The aim is to get into top 4, and therefore we're going all in on these 2 players to complete Ruben Amorim's squad. Let me know what you think regarding that, because Donnarumma has legs. There's been numerous conversations with Donnarumma's camp, and we're going to do a special edition regarding this with Alfredo Pedula, that has his finger on the pulse down in Italia, then in Serie A. He knows Donnarumma agents, he knows everyone, so we're going to have some exclusive news to break it to you as well. That I am confident of. However, Donnarumma will be at least the last person that comes in. They are quite relaxed, according to the sources that I've been receiving. The Manchester United are putting him on the priority list as well, together with Lemons. But most likely they will go for Donnarumma here, because PSG, they're forcing him out. They said we are willing to listen for 30 million euros, which is arguably 26 million for a cheap goalkeeper. And that means that Onana will be fizzed out. Similar to what you're seeing with Rasmus Højlund. If you're not performing, this is the Omar Barada strategy. If you're not performing within at least 2 years, you're out of the door. And that is ruthlessness. So let me know. Donnarumma to Manchester United, Carlos Beleba to Manchester United. I am confident that this will be happening at the end of the day. Jadon Sancho also latest is coming in that Roma has now acquired regarding Jadon Sancho, but he remains to wait for Juventus. But we will talk about that with Alfredo Pedula in the latest update. Guys, it's been Mick Ruby with a snappy update, going a little bit over time. Usually we do 10 minutes morning videos, but there's so much to talk about and so much excitement. Are you getting giddy? Do you think that Manchester United can get into Champions League with signings of Beleba and Donnarumma? I certainly believe. You got to get up and try, like that Pink song. Guys, do me a massive favor, like and subscribe. And that's about enough bop-offs for me. Let's send it. Send it.